Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bill. We're going to be in the Call of Cthulhu Keeper's Guide for this video. We are continuing the, the Cthulhu mythos and monsters and gods. So we are looking at, what one did I leave off on? We're looking at the Dark Young today for this video. So let's read in and see what the description of the Dark Young is and how it performs in the game. Also, in the beginning of this will be a small excerpt from one of the H.P. Lovecraft stories. So, Dark Young. Something black in the road, something that wasn't a tree, something big and black and ropey. Just squatting there, waiting, with ropey arms squirming and reaching. It came crawling up the hillside, and it was the black thing of my dreams. That black, ropey, slimy, jelly tree thing out of the woods. It crawled up, and it flowed up on its hooves and mouths and snaky arms. Robert Block, notebook found in the deserted house. And that is a very good description of the Dark Young. So, these beings are enormous writhing masses formed out of ropey black tentacles. Here and there over the surfaces of the things are great puckered mouths that drip green goo. Beneath the creature's tentacles ends in black hooves on which they stamp. The monsters roughly resemble trees in silhouette, the trunks being the short legs and the tops of the trees represented by the ropey branching bodies. The whole mass of these things smell like open graves. Dark Young stand between 12 and 20 feet tall. Such entities are the young referred to in the Shub-Niggurath epitaph. There we go. Black goat of the woods with 1,000 young. They are closely connected to her and are found only in the areas where she is worshipped. Dark Young act as proxies for Shub-Niggurath in accepting sacrifices, accepting worship from cultists, devouring non-cultists, and spreading their mother's faith across the world. Luckily, they are rarely met with. Special powers. Spells. Each Dark Young knows a number of spells equal to 1/10 of its intelligence. Now, there are random stats that you can roll for an individual Dark Young, so they could have varying stats, which would make them more unique, but they also give you the average of them. So if you were using more than one and you didn't want to have to isolate the stats, you could use the averages. So its strength average would be 220, its constitution 80, its size 220, its dex 80, its intelligence 70, its power 90. It has 30 hit points, average damage bonus of 4d6, average build 5, average magic points 18, its move is 8. Attacks per round 5. Dark Young may only use a trample attack once per round. So if you're in front of it or under it, it can only attempt to trample you once per round. Fighting attacks. In its masses of tentacles, a typical Dark Young has 4 thicker, sinuous tentacles with which it attacks. Each of these thicker tentacles can strike out to injure. It may also kick out with its hooves, simply crush or strike with its massive bulk. Grab. It's a maneuver. The Dark Young can use its tentacles to grab and capture up to 4 victims. If a victim is grabbed, he or she is held to one of the horrible suckering mouths and drained of 1d10 plus 5 strength per round. This strength loss cannot be restored. While being drained, a victim is capable only of ineffectual writhing and screaming. Trample. The Dark Young can also trample with its massive hooves, typically hooting and bellowing as it rears up and attempts to trample as many opponents as it can, up to 1d4 humans if they are situated close together. Its fighting is 80%, and it gets its damage bonus. Its grab are held for 1d10 plus 5 strength drain per round. Trample is 40%. Damage is 2d6 plus damage bonus. Dodge is 40%. Armor. Dark Young are of non-earthly materials and makeup, so that any successful hit with a firearm attack does only 1 point of damage per bullet, 2 points for an impale. Hand-to-eye weapons do normal damage. Attacks depend on heat, blast, corrosion, electrical charge, or poisoning have no effect. Skills, stealth. Bonus die in the woods, 30%. Sanity loss, 1d3 if you make it, and 1d10 if you fail. And then here's another little insert. Recent research by a field archaeologist in central England have uncovered curious clues about an ancient pagan fertility cult. The findings reveal an unhealthy devotion to trees and darkly suggest hideous religious rites involving the sacrifice of virgins to something named only as the withering tree. Perhaps connected are the claims of certain Amazonian elders who speak of a religion of the jungle that walk, and how gifts must be given to the tall ones to satiate their hunger. Indeed, a handful of travelers in these regions have returned with strange tales of being awoken at night by vines seemingly encroaching on their tents, with some going as far as to claim they awoke to find black vines encircling their legs and arms. So that's another little creep factor you can add in there. Well, this was the video on Dark Young. Let me know what you think about the Dark Young creatures in the comments below. Until we all game again, guys.